Imagine waking up completely blind to the world. You grab your phone. You try to check your local weather radar. You want to see if a storm is coming during your morning commute. The screen only shows an error message. Ugh. You think it's just slow Wi-Fi. You switch to mobile data. You try to check your cryptocurrency portfolio. Nothing. The entire global economy evaporates in exactly 3 seconds. Passenger planes vanish from air traffic control radars. Stick around. You'll watch modern society crumble in real time. You stop by the self-service coffee shop near your house. You swipe your credit card. Declined. The terminal is completely unable to pay for your order. Something smells fishy. This isn't a local outage. The internet just went down everywhere in the world. All the Bitcoin you've worked so hard to mine is now almost gone. Bye-bye. Panic is about to set in. Minutes 5 to 9. Communication failure. You try to call your family. You desperately need to make sure they are safe. You dial their number. The call fails instantly. Why? Modern mobile networks don't just beam radio waves blindly. They rely entirely on the internet to coordinate communication. Voice over LTE routing drops dead. You frantically dig through a dusty cardboard box. You pull out an old landline phone. You plug it into the wall jack. Dead air. It's completely useless. The central control system uses the internet to organize information transmission globally. Without those exact routing protocols, those analog copper wires are just a bunch of bones. The world goes entirely silent. Minutes 13 to 20. Power outage and transmission failure. The lights above your head flicker. Power is suddenly cut off. Pitch black. Most power distribution is done through a highly complex smart grid. It uses real-time internet data processing to balance the exact load. Without the internet synchronizing the grid, it quickly becomes overloaded. Massive 500,000 volt transformers violently overheat. Substations spark. They explode. You grab your car keys. You get in your car. But without Google Maps to find your way, you'll be driving in the dark every time you move. You hit the main highway. Traffic lights go out worldwide. Over 330,000 signalized intersections instantly die. This causes horrific traffic accidents worldwide. Millions of tons of steel violently collide. And those spiffy self-driving cars, they are equipped with advanced GPS. They are connected to the internet. Now, their artificial brains are totally fried. They crash directly into solid concrete barriers. They stop suddenly in the fast lane. Ouch. Minutes 22 to 25. Panic spreads at 600 miles per hour. All laws and order are broken. Emergency 911 dispatch centers go completely dead. You pull into a local gas station. Clashes occur at gas pumps. Panicked people try to pump as much gas as possible. Fists swing. A standard 10,000-gallon underground fuel tank is drained in 30 minutes. You race back home in the nick of time. You lock the deadbolt. Homeowners begin barricading doors and windows as a strict safety precaution. They drag heavy oak dressers to block entryways. They violently nail 2x4s over the glass panes. It perfectly resembles a scene from a horror movie. Society just traded ones and zeros for brutal tribal warfare. Let's face it, you are utterly defenseless. Days 1 to 3, the economic collapse. Business collapse is absolute. You think the big tech empires will save us? Crap. Companies heavily reliant on the internet, such as Google, Amazon, and Apple, stare at completely blank screens. They wait for their backup servers to kick in. They realize their backup servers are not working. They need active network bridges to simply function. Large companies will go bankrupt in days. Over 12 million highly skilled tech workers are instantly unemployed. See you again, Silicon Valley. Wall Street collapses next. The stock market is completely digital. Bankers and stockbrokers face a catastrophic sell-off. High-frequency algorithms are designed to trade in microseconds. Now they go entirely blind. In the blink of an eye, the world economy collapses. Over $105 trillion of abstract global wealth is vaporized into thin air. Then, the cryptocurrency collapsed. All financial transactions occur when the network functions. Now, they all completely failed. This brings credit card and cryptocurrency payments to a dead, agonizing standstill. Banks realized that staying open wouldn't do any good. Thick steel safes were locked tight. Heavy titanium vault doors slammed shut. But some were forcefully broken into by panicked people trying to get their money out. Glass shattered. Alarms blared on weak battery power. People desperately want physical bills. Now you have to use cash for everything. Paper is suddenly the undisputed king of the world. Week 1. Survival in the analog world and massive supply chain clogs. We are heading straight back to the Stone Age. To communicate with people out of state, you have to go back to writing letters. You must send them through the postal service, assuming the mail trucks even have diesel fuel. Without Wi-Fi, wireless file transfers are impossible. You want to move a 5 gigabyte family video file? You have to use a physical cable. Or you have to burn a CD. Yeah, remember those? Ugh. Searching for information becomes an exhausting survival mission. You rummage through old, dusty belongings to find a radio. You twist the plastic dial. Static. Satellite radio is no longer broadcasting. Those orbiters need active ground uplinks to transmit, but AM and FM radio can still receive signals. They use raw radio waves bouncing off the ionosphere. You finally hear a crackling human voice, a local broadcaster reading emergency bulletins off a torn scrap of paper. You take your cash, you go to the supermarket. But the shelves are quickly emptying. A modern grocery store only holds about 39,000 items. Due to the lack of internet connectivity between airplanes, massive freighter ships, and commercial trucks, the global logistics network is completely paralyzed. The transportation industry has to revert to tracking goods with paper documents. Transporting goods to stores becomes incredibly complicated. This bottlenecks the entire system. It drastically increases the market value of the products being transported. A simple 16.9 ounce bottle of water becomes a high-end luxury item costing $50. The psychological impact hits incredibly hard. Real anxiety begins to emerge. An average human in 2026 spends over 7 hours a day staring at glowing screens. When that massive digital dopamine drip suddenly stops, the primal brain short-circuits. Phone and internet addiction affects users exactly like severe drug withdrawal syndrome. Cortisol levels spike by 400%. Your heart rate accelerates, you pace the floors, you sweat profusely. You experience phantom vibrations in your pocket. The silence of a completely disconnected world is absolutely deafening. The first month and the following months. Science and the brutal lessons learned. You step outside at night. You look up at the dark sky. Threats from above are rapidly materializing. There are over 10,000 active satellites in orbit right now. They zip around the planet at 17,000 miles per hour. The orbits of some satellites begin to deteriorate. Trace atmospheric drag slowly pulls them down into the thicker air. Normally, ground control sends complex commands to fire their thrusters. Because we cannot communicate with them, eventually they will burn up in the atmosphere. You'll look up and see artificial shooting stars. Millions of dollars of high-tech metal incinerated in the mesosphere at 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I know what you're thinking. Could this really happen? Is the entire internet truly at risk of collapsing tomorrow? Well, in theory, it could happen. But realistically, it's incredibly unlikely. Because the internet doesn't depend on a single central computer. It's a massive, decentralized, global network. Poking holes in a doomsday story like that is easy. However, there is one terrifying cosmic wildcard: an electromagnetic pulse. An EMP from a phenomenon like a giant solar storm could bring the entire internet down. We are talking about a massive coronal mass ejection. Billions of tons of charged plasma are hitting Earth at 2 million miles per hour. Today, a storm of that magnitude would fry the global electrical grid, killing two birds with one stone. But here is the brutal scientific reality. If a solar storm were actually that powerful, we would face infinitely bigger problems. The Earth's magnetic field would violently buckle. We could face the catastrophic loss of the atmosphere. We'd be cooking in lethal ultraviolet radiation. Losing your social media feed would be the least of your concerns. The final message. The sudden loss of internet connectivity has caused widespread panic. It stripped away our absolute comfort in a matter of days. But ultimately, it proves exactly how fragile our modern hyper-connected lives truly are. We built a towering, advanced civilization on invisible data streams. If the digital world ended tomorrow, all the gigabytes, the massive cloud storage, the viral videos, they wouldn't mean a thing. The only things that would matter would be tangible assets: cash, physical tools, clean water, and the unbreakable ability to protect your home and your family. We evolved over millions of years to survive in the brutal dirt. We traded that primal resilience for absolute convenience. We shouldn't rely so heavily on a fragile web of glass and code. We wouldn't survive a month without it. You'd think we'd be more prepared, but we aren't. Okay, let's wrap this up. If you survived this hypothetical apocalypse with me, hit that like button and subscribe for more mind-bending science. The universe has laws, but we're here to push them to the breaking point. I'm Rabo, and the lab is always open. Catch you on the next one.